عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. My respected brothers and sisters, those who are here and those who follow us on different social medias, may Allah's peace, His guidance, His mercy, His protection, and His forgiveness be with you and with all your loved ones, inshallah, in this life and the day we leave this world and buried in our graves, and the day we will be taken out of our graves and we will be brought in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to receive the rewards of whatever we have sent forth, inshallah. Today's program, inshallah, will continue on the topic of divorce, the topic matters related to marital relationships and divorce. And inshallah, today we will start this program with the ayah in Quran, which talks about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about this Quran in this Quran. It is necessary for us to understand that why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this book and what it says, what the book says about itself. So inshallah, the reference will be from Ayat chapter Hud, which is 11th chapter, the first ayah of Surah Al-Hud. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Alif Lam Ra, Kitabun Uhkimat Ayatuhu, Thumma Fussilat Min Ladun Hakimun Khabir. Sadaqallahu Ladin. Alif Lam Ra, this is a book, the ayat of which are perfected in every sphere of knowledge. Every sphere of knowledge. And then explained in detail in this book and through the sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this is the book from the all-wise and all-acquainted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who knows about everything, who has created everything. Sadaqallahu ladhi. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself sent this book. There is no deity worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He is all-wise, which means Hakim. Khabir means in Arabic, Khabir means the one who has the comprehensive knowledge of everything, which was there, which is there, and which will be there, and which nobody is aware of but Allah Himself. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said something in this book, it is something which is full of wisdom, and we cannot neglect it. And we need to remember that Islam is our religion, it's not our profession. It is not about a certain dress code, okay? It is not about a certain, people of certain ethnicity or certain areas, because you know that Abu Lahab, who was the real uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Abu Lahab, he was real uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His dress was exactly the same as of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His beard was exactly the same length, almost same length as Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. All his enemies had beard. All his enemies used to wear the same clothes. It's not about that. It is about how we practice this deen. Not only that we learn the deen or read the deen or we just memorize Quran. And we don't spend time in understanding, learning the meaning of Quran, and don't spend time in implementing the lesson of Quran on ourselves first. Then we go out and tell somebody else. We, unfortunately, Muslims, we do the sixth thing first. That we start going out and telling others, come to Islam. But we don't produce the exemplary character and behavior in front of people. And we discriminate against people. Discrimination is against the soul and the very heart, very soul, very existence of Islam. It's against it. So today, inshallah, we will discuss two ayat, we will study together. Two ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah, which is ayah number 236 and ayah number number 237 of Surah Al-Baqarah. So first, inshallah, the recitation, and then the translation, and then exegesis, the tafsir of these two ayat. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا جناح عليكم إن طلقتم النساء ما لم تمسوهن أو تفرضوا لهن فريضة ومتعوهن على موسع قدره وعلى المقتر قدره متاعا بالمعروف حقا على المحسنين وإن طلقتموهن من قبل أن تمسوهن وقد فرضتم لهن فريضة فنصف ما فرضتم إلا أن يعفون أو يعفو الذي بيده عقدة النكاح وأن تعفوا أقرب للتقوى ولا تنسوا الفضل بينكم إن الله بما تعملون بصير. صدق الله العظيم. The translation of today's ayat, my respected brothers and sisters, there is no blame on you if you divorce women while you have not consummated the marriage with them, nor their bridal gift was given to them. Bridal gift, the gift which is given by the husband to wife at the time of marriage. So we will come to the tafsir for better understanding of it. But give them a suitable gift. The rich according to his means, and the poor according to his means, in a reasonable amount. It is a duty over the doers of good deeds. It is a duty on the doers of good deed. And if you divorce before you have touched them, and you have agreed the bridal gift, then pay at least 1/2 of that amount. At least 1/2 of that amount. Unless they, the women, agree to forego it, and or the husband, or in whose hands the marriage bond is, the marriage contract is, agrees to forego and gives her full agreed upon bridal gift. And to forego, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to us, all of us, and to forego and give the full bridal amount, the full bridal gift amount, because it is nearer to the piety and righteousness. And do not forget the graciousness, the kindness between you. Truly, Allah is all aware of what you do. The exegesis of these two ayat we will use. I use very, very old books of Tafsir. I studied in Makkah, Koran, recitation, Tajweed, and Tafsir. So Tafsir of ayah number 236, it tells us we'll take the first portion of the ayah. Okay? It's easier to understand by topic. And a lot of things you will find out, and that's why it is very necessary. It is necessary upon us to, if you can't read Quran, that is not a bigger problem. But if you cannot understand Quran, that's a major issue. That's a major issue which is unforgivable if you don't understand Quran. It is not about the color of your skin. It's not about how much money you have in your bank account. It's not about your ethnicity that will earn you forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His mercy. You know, those who think that their certain ethnicity, or being from a part of the world, or of living in a country of, in Makkah or Medina, they will go to Makkah or they will go to paradise. It's all in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He sends whoever He wants to, and He stops whoever He wants to. Nobody else can forgive. Okay? Except the one, suppose there are two things. There is one thing about huquq Allah, the other is huquq al-ibad. If we don't fulfill the huquq Allah, it's a major sin. If we don't fulfill the huquq al-ibad, also a major sin. Allah, if He wants, will forgive whoever He wants in huquq Allah. But He is not going to forgive huquq al-ibad unless that person is brought in front of you and He forgives me, then I am forgiven. Otherwise, all my zakat, sadaqat, khairat, hajj, prayers, this, that, means nothing if I have not given people's right, those who are around me, and I have treated them with equality and equity and justice. That is the essence of Islam. So in today's ayah, before we study this ayah, we must reflect, we must know, we must reflect on the purpose of a spousal relationship and why Quran talks about it. There is a surah, my respected brothers and sisters, you know better than I do, that there is a surah in the Quran which the name of the chapter is An-Nisa. The only divine scripture. An-Nisa. An-Nisa means the women. The second, there is another chapter, 65th chapter of Quran. An-Nisa is 4th chapter of Quran. The 65th chapter of Quran is called Surah Talaq, the chapter about divorce. There is another chapter, Surah Al-Mumtahina, 60th chapter. That also talks about women's rights. And we go out of our house and teach other people Islam, but we forget to treat our women with respect, with love, with equity, with keep peace and tranquility with them within the household. That is a major problem. That is a major problem. We get into relationship with those women in the name of Allah. They are not inferior than men. In some cases, women's status in Islam is higher than men. But we have taken a certain ayah or certain hadith from somewhere and given it to the priority because we don't understand Quran. Instead of looking at overall on the topic and which ayah came last and take the orders of that ayah, we have taken whatever we understood. That's why it is very important for us to go into deep study of Quran. So inshallah, when we are put in our graves, the day we die, when we are put in our graves and we are questioned about what we have done, then there is nothing left which we have not given to this woman. This woman whom we brought in our relationship, in our house, in our bedrooms, and in our, on all kind of dealings, in the name of Allah. In the name of Allah. Those who don't want to treat women with equity and equality should not get married. Don't bring Allah's name in your marriage. You bring Allah's name only situationally and when it works for you. This is nature of man. And it needs to be said. It needs to be said. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Rum, which is 30th chapter, in ayah number 21, says a beautiful, fundamentally, a very, very important ayah, wonderfully described by Allah. And it says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. That among His signs is that He created your mates from among yourself. Man is not created from a superior clay, the better quality clay, and here comes an inferior quality clay that you can spit upon anytime you want. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, your wives among yourself, that you may find what? وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. That you find compassion, selfless compassion, and comfort and mercy through your relationship. Verily, in that are the signs for those who think about Allah's ayat. Not for everybody. You see, my respected brothers and sisters, you know better than I do, that none of the divine book of Allah, there were 310 divine books, which I mentioned in some of my khutbah. 310 divine books, we only know 5. And the one which is by name, including Quran. And what Quran tells us to do, we don't have no idea, but it is talking to us. That each and every divine book that Allah sent, it does not guide everybody. It does not guide everybody. It guides those who are looking for guidance. Those who are not looking for guidance, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Those who don't believe on that I need to be shown the straight path, the path that will take me to Allah, the path that will take me to paradise. If they don't ask that, they don't get guidance. Call ourselves anything we want. Dress as much as, whatever we want. Grow beard as long as you want. But if you don't ask Allah's, mercy and His guidance to guide us on each and everything, we are nowhere. Islam is not about a certain dress. Quran teaches us a word which is called mawadda. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ mawadda. You know what mawadda means? If we understand the word mawadda of Arabic, mawadda. If we understand that word, we will reflect on ourselves and stand in front of mirror and question ourselves. Am I dealing with my wife as Allah has given told? One word of Quran can correct our relationships. One word, mawadda. Mawadda means selfless compassion. The compassion as Allah has towards us, Allah has mawadda towards us. No matter what we do in our life all day, and break Allah's laws and break our, people, those who are with us, violate their rights. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is continuously giving you food, continuously giving you air to breathe. You exhale and inhale. You eat food. You are able to walk. What if we don't show mawadda, and Allah would have punished us immediately, right there? We would be ended, finished, done. That's what we have, mawadda, between husband and wife. Selfless love, selfless compassion. And it happens in some of the families, and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, those are the families which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those are husband and wife which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed His special mercy. That there is a little bit good food left, and the person says, my husband is not here. When he comes, I'll eat with him, I share with him. Or the husband says, I've been invited to such and such place, and I'm going there alone. Let me take the same meal for my wife also. When a husband and wife looks at each other with love, Allah smiles. It's a hadith sahih. Allah smiles and look down at them with love and compassion and mercy. This is what we are supposed to do. If everyone, my respected brothers and sisters, if everyone strictly sticks to his culture or customs, or my grandfather used to do this, so I'll do that. Or it happens in my community such and such, in Turkey, in my country, or in Pakistan, or India, and here and there, that this is how our custom is. This is how our culture is. If everybody stick to the culture, customs, religious, and what you call the legal rights of each other, and go after each other, this world would have so much chaos that you will be scared of entering your own house. You will be scared of entering your own house, because if there are so many legal claims, so many legal rights, the pleasant social life, the meaningful spousal relationship, and nucleus of human race, thus the entire society will be destroyed, because we don't have peace between husband and wife. It is very important. Allah the Almighty and peace be upon Him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam forbade marriages merely for the physical attraction and pleasure. The beauty, if somebody thinks the beauty is in such certain color, he is looking down, astaghfirullah, looking down at Allah. The beauty is in the heart, beauty is in the character, beauty is in the attitude and behavior. And beauty is when this husband or this wife guide each other and say, this, I think, there are ways to deliver your message. You can't take baseball bat and teach Islam in the name of baseball bat. Nobody will follow you. There are, and we need to stop scaring our children and our young ones from going to hell. We need to stop that. We need to give them hope in Allah. You don't have to be afraid of Allah. You have to be loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Love opens more hearts and more eyes and more minds than hate. Love is the essence of life. If Allah did not love you, He would have not created you. He was not bound to create. You could be a tree out there. Or a grain of dirt. But He created you because He loved you. And love is the essence. The intent of marriage has to be to live in peace, equality, equity, harmony. And your partner has to be your partner for life. Rasulullah said that changing of your spouses, for men or for women, changing of the spouses without a valid reason, which is like lewd act, number one of them. Other than that, you need to work it out. If you don't like something about this woman or this man, there may be other things which you like about her or about him. And especially for men, those who think that Al-Rijalu Qawwamuna ala Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that men have a degree of advantage. The degree of advantage is that he has to take the heat. He has to do the right thing and continue to do it and don't lose hope and keep giving hope to his wife, to his children, to his in-laws or even outlaws. So there are rituals before marriage such as nikah. In Arabic, nikah or khutbah, or it is also called tafweed. In Turkish, in our language, we call it Necam, engagement. Or nikah, that we did the nikah. In Urdu, we call it mangni, right? That you do the nikah, and in English it is called engagement. Engagement of what? Engagement to be married. Engaged to be married. So when that is in Arabic a nikah. So this is the ayah talking about that one thing, about nikah. That nikah, what happens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that if you did not consummate the marriage, the girl did not go to the man's house. Okay? The woman did not go to her husband's house, and we did all the marital arrangements, we reached to a contract, we established the bridal gift. Okay? And after that, if either one of them or both of them think that they should not continue with this marriage, they should not go ahead and marry this woman or marry this man, they have a right to call it off. If in our culture, astaghfirullah, if somebody's marriage is called off, okay, that especially if a woman's, she is destroyed in our culture. There will be so many bad things said about her. Look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about that. That similar to the marriage engagement is also supposed to, this is from Tafsir Ibn Abbas, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas, who was the first cousin of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he wrote the first Tafsir, Tafsir Ibn Tanwir al-Mikhbas fi Tafsir Ibn Abbas. It's available in Arabic, that's where I get these references. And then I use also Tafsir al-Suddi, Tafsir al-Qurtubi, Tafsir Ruh al-Bayan, and all the other Tafsir al-Qurtubi. So it says that engagement is also supposed to be announced. And the breakup of engagement is just like the breaking up of a marriage. Because the only thing did not happen is consummation of marriage. Everything else, people were invited, they came, announced this, that, everything. So now everybody's name is on the line. So when that thing is broken, okay, when there is a breakup and both parties want to back out, it's okay, they can back out. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this ayah because of one cultural reason which the people before, in the days of arrogance, before Islam, in the day of arrogance, people in Makkah, the birthplace of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see, it shows you that it is not that a prophet was born in some place, then everything they were doing was right. No, it was not. You see? So what they were doing at the time, in the days of arrogance, before the advent of Islam, that if they did the nikah and they did not consummate the marriage, so they will tell, the elders would say, that you cannot divorce this woman unless you consummate the marriage. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, that is wrong. If you do not want to keep the marital tie and go ahead and finally get married and consummate the marriage, okay, and when she comes to your house, if you want to break up, you don't have to consummate the marriage. But those people that's what they used to do. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this ayah, وَلَا جُنَاهَ عَلَيْكُمْ أَن طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ مَا لَمْ تَمَسُّوهُنَّ فَرِيضًا. That it is okay for you to divorce the woman if you see that you cannot continue for one reason or the other. People may find 1,000 different things, okay, that they don't like to complete that marriage ceremony and consummate the marriage and accept her as your wife. But if it is okay, but you don't consummate the marriage. If you consummate the marriage, she is your wife. Okay? And the other thing is that if you have gave the dowry, if you have made a contract that you are going to give this much money as a bridal gift to this lady, bridal gift, okay? Nobody sets up the amount of the bridal gift. Nobody but the woman herself. In our culture, the uncle who may be, her grandfather who may have 4th degree of Alzheimer, goes there and set up the dowry amount or the bridal gift amount for that woman. This is wrong. This is against the teaching of Quran. This is against the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The girl herself sets it up. If she says $6 million and the guy doesn't have a motorbike, okay, then girl need to be taken to a psychiatrist. Okay? But if she says my bridal gift is Quran, she is impractical. There is some problem with this girl. And the man can pay. So the bridal gift have to be according to the earning potential, not earning potential and earning capacity. There are a lot of people, those who can earn, but they don't want to earn because they are couch potatoes. They don't want to earn. They don't want to go out. Because if they go out, they have to earn, they have to spend also. So they don't want to spend, they just spend that money with the friends sitting in some coffee shop. Okay? So Almighty Allah says that this ayah describes the situations and rules of how you break up the engagement. And you can divorce, but make sure do not consummate the marriage. Keep the girl's honor as is. Do not consummate the marriage. If you have set up a bridal gift and you have given the whole bridal gift amount, you have given the whole amount, meher, which is called. If you have given not the dowry is a totally different thing. You need to understand the difference. And if we have set up the amount and we have given the amount, and for some reason she or you or both of you don't want to go ahead and get the marriage done, then you can take that amount back only 50% of it. In our cultures, oh my God, you will see 10 people with some of them with guns to get everything from that woman, which you have given to her. Because you are not married, you're not marrying her, so now you can dishonor her the way you want. Okay, that's against Islam. That's major haram. That's a major sin. We don't do that. And then the other thing is that this ayah removes the prejudice of the time of arrogance and practices of those days and the wrong custom of consummating the marriage and returning the gift of the engagement. Gift of the engagement, what you call the meher, if you have paid it all up front. There are several situations which we will discuss. Protecting the honor of women. Islam recognizes that during the engagement period, if the engagement needs to end, this is Tafsir Al-Qur'an says that, the engagement needs to end, it must end without consummating the marriage. That condition of, what practices of the time of arrogance is haram. It cannot be. Al-Qur'an said that the wording La junaha alaykum means that there is nothing wrong for you if you break up. But do not ask for the return of all bridal gifts if you have paid them upfront. If the bridal gift amount was not paid, then the man is still, when breaking up the engagement, the man paid 50% of that amount, look, he's breaking up, he's not married. He has to pay 50% of the amount which he agreed to that girl. And the day and when she's separating from that man, at that time he should send her away with a valuable gift which will make her happy. Look at that. This is the women's rights in Islam. That you not only, if you have given all of it upfront at time of nikah, before the consummation of marriage, then you would take 50% of it. But it says that if you forgive it and leave all of it, فَهُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى, that it is closest to having piety and righteousness, that you don't take anything back from that woman. We keep a list, and the mother outlaw will show up at the door and would tell the girl's parents or whoever, and they said, these are the things which we give, you return it, you don't return it, we are going to do this and this and this and this, and my brother is a police chief. I'm going to destroy your life. And then we call Allahu Akbar, and pray behind Imam. Or may even lead the prayers as an Imam. This is all un-Islamic behavior. That's why it is important to understand Quran, not memorize Quran. It's a good deed to memorize Quran. But if you don't understand what you just read, you did not memorize, you parrotized Quran. You turn into a bird and learn what somebody told you to repeat. You need to understand that there is a difference between you and the green bird. So if the marriage is not consummated, the bridal gifts are already paid, the man can only ask 50% of the gifts back. 50%. If he wants to. If girl wants to give all of it back, it's up to her. If she can keep 50%, it's up to her. Nobody can tell her, no, you have to return all. No. She doesn't have to. There were expenses from the girl's side also. To get into, in this kind of engagement, maybe the guy is a loser. You got into something and then you found out later, oh my God, what did I do? It's okay, you can back off. And the man can do the same. Furthermore, a bridal gift, if the bridal gift was not given and the couple breaks up, this ayah ordains to give her at least 50% what she promised and agreed to give her as a bridal gift, and also give her a separation gift which she will enjoy. Not send her a used set of sandals or something, things of no value. Hence, the engaged husband, during the engagement, they are husband and wife to be. They are engaged to be married. So they are husband and wife, the marriage is not consummated, are not allowed to proceed with the marriage if they decide any time after the engagement that they don't want to continue. They can break up. And nobody has a right to say anything bad about that woman and her last several generations and few future generations. That's what we are good about. Nor the girl's side would say those things about the man. So the next portion of the ayah, it says, but give them a suitable gift, the rich according to his means and the poor according to his means. A gift or provision of reasonable amount is a duty on the doer of good deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands the husbands to give the wife whom he divorces after the engagement but before actual marriage a gift of a reasonable amount, the rich according to his means and the poor according to his means, as compensation. There is a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari. We just hear these things and quote. I was invited to speak in a gathering of birthday of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I asked the people, I said, are there other speakers also? They said, yes. I said, can you keep me at the last? And I need 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. They said, no, we are giving you an hour. Usually, I look for 2 hours. So I said, no, 5 minutes. So when my turn came, I asked people, I thanked them that, thank you for inviting me, you are honoring me. I have some questions from you before we start talking about Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I said, in this gathering of 250 to 300 people, if whoever knows 10 hadith, 10 hadith, the traditions of the Prophet, and with the meaning of it, please raise hand. So some people raise hand and they say, yeah, we know the hadith, but we don't know the meaning. Then I said, if 5 people, if they know, in a gathering of 300 people, 5 people, if you know, if you can quote 5 hadith and give me the meaning of it. No. I said, my third question to you is, why do you think you have a right to celebrate somebody's birthday which you don't know what he did in his life, what he told you to do, and you are totally dumbfounded about his whole life? Islam is not about, having a certain kind of headgear, certain color of headgear. It is different. So Sahih al-Bukhari reported from Sa'd ibn Sahal ibn Sa'd radiyallahu anhu and Abu Usaid that the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Prophet himself, married Umayma bin Sharahil. Married a woman named Umayma bin Sharahil. When she was brought to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's house, he gave her his hand, his right hand. That's his wife. So he extended his right hand. And she didn't like it and she wanted to go back. She wanted to go back, didn't want it to be in the marriage of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And she did not touch his hand. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam called Abu Usaid and told him that her marriage gift, the bridal gift, was set at this much amount. Give her that amount and give her more, more than that, and 2 pair of garments which can make her happy. This was our Prophet, and we attack the girl's house if we have to break a marriage or break an engagement. The portion of the ayah makes this mandatory for the believers to give partying women something of value that they will enjoy and they can use in the future. Okay? Do not hinder their decision to move on with their life. Don't go to her with the mullah from the neighborhood masjid and just tell her that if you don't go with this man, you will go to hell. There's no such thing. It's up to her. She wants to get married, she does. If she doesn't, she wants to get out, she back out. And you have to honor and respect her decision. Ibn Abbas, Ibn Umar, Ibn Abbas means Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu, Ibn Umar means Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu, Jabir ibn Zayd, Al-Hassan, Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmad, and others said that a gift to a woman is mandatory. Mandatory. Even if you are coming out of the engagement, you must give her the bridal gift and give her something extra that can make her happy. Ibn Umar said for a poor man, the minimum is about 30 dirham. The currency of that time, you can get the value of it. Ibn Abbas, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu said, for a rich man, the parting gift, other than the bridal gift, other than the meher, the parting gift is a servant. A life servant who would help her all her life. Okay? And clothes and the maintenance allowance according to man's ability. According to man's ability. When Almighty Allah said, Haqqan alal muhsinin, means a duty of the doers of good deed. Al-Qur'an says, if someone didn't know, look at this beauty of Islam. Someone got married, got engaged, okay, and has already decided that, agreed upon that this much would be the amount. The bridal gift would be equivalent to this much amount. Then, he did not know that. Then, for some reason, he knew that, he got engaged with that woman, and then he set up a dowry, set up a meher, the bridal gift. And then for some reason he wants to get out of the engagement. Okay? But he didn't know that at the time of engagement, because there was no internet at that time, no Google, right? We have no stupid excuse not to do it. They did. The news did not travel 100 miles, 200 miles, 500 miles in all 50 directions from where Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. So if people didn't know, it is okay at that time. The people did not know. So the Al-Qur'an said that if people did not know and they break the marriage, and they have given the whole 100% of the dowry, they can take 50% back. But if they have not given any, they have to give at least 50% to her and extra gift on her. If you didn't know, and the woman left and they are divorced now, and she married somebody else, the day he finds out, it is a duty upon him to go find through somebody and deliver that gift to her. Deliver that gift to the woman who 30 years, 40 years ago. And if you find out that woman has died, then find out who are her heirs, who is her family. And then give that portion according to, not 30 years later, you give her $100 back. The value of that $100 of 30 years, what is the value today? You need to go back to that woman and give the value of the amount which is, today's value of the amount when you found out that what you were supposed to do. This is Islam, my respected brothers and sisters. Because we don't practice it, it just looks like, a bunch of fools who don't know nothing. Because we read, we memorize, we don't understand. Wallahi, I have been in gatherings where I have told people told me, you don't have a beard. So how would you know about Islam? So I said, okay, brother, let's sit down. I would recite you an ayah of Quran. Please give me the meaning in Turkish, in Urdu, in English, or in Arabic. Give me the meaning of that ayah. No, they don't know. People memorize, but they don't understand. They don't learn and they don't follow. The tafsir of the next ayah number 237. Inshallah, we have been talking about this topic of marital relationships and divorce for the last 2 months. Next week's ayah number 238 and 239, would be about prayers. What is the importance of prayers? If you ask today's Muslim, the Friday prayers. Just once a week. Situational Muslim. And come before you see, in Friday prayer, my respected brothers and sisters, you know better than I do, that those 2 khutbahs, you see, Dhuhr prayer has 4 rakat. The Friday prayer, we are praying at Dhuhr time, but it has 2 rakat. Why? Because those 2 khutbah are the 2 missing rakat. So the one who has come at the second khutbah, or did not attend the first and second khutbah and then prayed 2 rakat, he has to pray 4 rakat. Stand up after the Imam says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, stand up and complete the Dhuhr prayer. Otherwise, his Jummah is not done, his Friday is not done, and his Dhuhr is naqis. Dhuhr has something missing from it. That's what naqis. So, the ayah number 237, and people come late for a simple reason. Because the Imam eat the brain off. 45 minutes of khutbah. Half of these people, or 90% of the people coming to the masjid, they are coming during their lunchtime, or taking a break to pray Friday prayer. Some of them, that's the only prayer they pray in a week. We run for Eid prayers. Look at the parking lot of every masjid, disaster area. It's supposed to be the most organized activity for Muslims is masajid. Respect of each other. Do not hurt. Do not think that the person next to you is one way or the other is lesser human than you are. No. Always consider the person next to you is better than you. What you just did, you kept your mind open to learn something from this person. And that's how the scholars have learned. That's how all these great imams have learned. Everybody called himself imam. Imams were those. Imam Shafi, Imam Maliki, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Ahmad bin Malik. Rest of us are prayer leaders, not imams. You have to have a certain level of knowledge, not only that you have memorized Quran, now you can do the prayers. I have prayed, this young man right here, sometime when we did Tafsir program, I asked him to lead prayer and I prayed behind him. I have no problem praying behind him. That's how you bring people. Give them the role and responsibility and let them lead. Because they are tomorrow's leader. We will be gone. This will be the generation. These two kids will lead us. So keep them closer. Bring them, even if they lead us, so what? What am I missing if I pray behind him? How old are you? 14. I prayed behind him many times. He's right here. Yeah. Why not? At my home, one day I got a little late on a phone call or something. I came down, and my son was in. He's 17 now, and he was praying. So I prayed behind him. Oh, what? It should not matter. So the next ayah is, if you divorce before you have touched them, then you agreed the bridal gift, then pay at least 50% of that amount, unless the woman agreed to forego, and the husband agrees to forego, or the one whose hand is the marriage bond, a judge, or the one who is in our culture, astaghfirullah. We bring imam, give him $150, and he will take the money, do the nikah, and leave. When people call me for something, and our brother Imam Umar Sharif, he does the same thing. If somebody asks him to perform a marriage ceremony, he asks, do you have a license from the county? Because a Muslim does not break law. If there is a law which is not hurting anybody, you must follow it. As a matter of fact, one of my friends, he's an imam in, like I said, I lived in Makkah al-Mukarramah, I studied there. He's an imam in one of the masajid. And he said that if there is a traffic light or a stop sign and any other law which the government enforces and you break it, you are breaking law of Allah. Why? Because if that law is in the general good for everybody who is around you, then you, as a Muslim, you must follow that law. A Muslim stops. That's a lesson for you, who drive around. That don't go through a stop sign. And you too. Stop at the stop sign. Okay? Because if you don't, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَّا التَّهْلُكَةِ. That's how we need to see our actions in the light of Quran. That don't put yourself in harm's way. When you go through a traffic light, or when you don't stop at a stop sign, you put yourself in harm's way. Either you will get hurt, physical damage, property damage, God forbid, or you will hurt somebody else or destroy somebody else's property. And that is against Islamic teaching. We respect the law. In this ayah, Allah the Almighty teaching us another fundamental element. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what? وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. That do not forget the compassion and kindness which Allah has put in between you. What compassion and kindness Allah has put in between husband and wife? That they agreed to marry. If they were hating each other, well, later on they do, but if you were hating each other, and that's where men's superiority, if man has this bigger head, the superiority complex comes into play. That if there is something and you think that she's wrong and you are right, then show some compassion and show some patience. Men has to. But I have seen that if there are problems in the community and they go to a religious leader, he tells them that to women all the time, you have to do sabr so you can go to Jannah. Allahu Akbar. Why don't you tell this man that if he doesn't treat her right, he will go to hell? Nobody does. So that needs to be done. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is a fundamental element of husband and wife relationship, and Allah ordains, وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ, that do not forget the graciousness and kindness between husband and wife, between you. Al-Fadl, my respected brothers and sisters, like Muwadda, the word which I mentioned earlier, the selfless compassion and love, and Rahmah, the mercy towards each other. Fadl is another beautiful quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna Allah du fadlin ala nas. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is extremely, have the extreme compassion and kindness and patience. That is fadl. Okay? towards his people he created. This attribute is an attribute of Allah. And Allah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us, we have 10 minutes inshallah, we'll finish in time. So don't sleep. Right? So that he gave the understanding, this understanding of mawadda, my respected brothers and sisters, this understanding of mawadda and rahmah and fadl, Allah gives to everybody. It is built in us. Right? We are the one who decide not to use it or to use it. Mostly men. Mostly men. That's why I'm called all the time. The time, I'm somebody who, I'm a feminist. Oh, of course I am. Because the examples I see in front of me, I work as a mediator, arbitrator, when I see these cases and things come in, it's always one-sided. Especially the ethnic communities, Muslims, people coming from all over Middle East and Pakistan and India and Turkey and here and there. The superiority of men in their head is really at a level of sin. At a level of sin, that I am better. If they did not love, have compassion and mercy and kindness, if they didn't have that in their heart, you think they would have engaged each other? No. Would they have married each other? No. It was all there in the beginning. And then you started seeing, these things. Don't take it more important as that if you are driving in an area where there are potholes, but you live on the street, what you do? Do you move to another neighborhood because there are potholes in that street? No, you don't. You live there 40 years, 50 years. My grandfather's, that was my grandfather's house. I don't want to leave. There is no road. Or there are potholes. You continue to live. But when you see potholes in your relationship, you want to dump her. Treat her with respect. Things do change. Muhammad ibn al-Qasim in his book Al-Mudawana, it's a very famous book in Arabic, and As-Suddi, Tafsir As-Suddi rahmatullah alayh, and Al-Qurtubi says that separation gift from a husband to a wife for every divorced woman is described in other ayat of glorious Quran, such as ayat number 241 of Surah Al-Baqarah and ayat of Surah Al-Ahzab. Even for any woman whose marriage has not been consummated, she also deserves to receive a gift when the nikah or the engagement, money or nishan in Turkish, when that is broken, it is her right to receive that, half the amount minimum, half the amount of the bridal gift, and also a gift from the husband which she will please and will enjoy later. If the engagement was done, this is to summarize it, if the engagement was done and the bridal gift was already paid, the man cannot ask the entire bridal gift to be returned. Only 50%. But Allah says if you forgive and forgo the whole amount, and if you already paid the entire amount, then that is huwa aqrabu lit-taqwa. It is close to the piety. Okay? The second thing is the women who have charge of their own affairs, means they don't have a guardian. Have no father. Some community leader become her guardian at that time, but he does not have to decide. He cannot decide on the matter of meher, or matter of the bridal gift, or separation gift, because Allah has already decided in this ayah. You cannot decide that for her. Allah has decided for her. Allah has protected her rights, protected her honor. The women who have charged their own affairs, Allah ordains them that if they want, they can forego 50%. But if they want the whole amount, it's up to her. If the bridal gift was not given and the couple break up at the time of engagement, Allah ordains them, and the couple breaks up, the man must give her at least 50%. But if he gives her 100%, then that is more preferred by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then give her a gift also. The woman can make her decision to give all of the bridal money back, bridal gift back, or keep 50% of it. It is expected of God-loving men not to demand anything back. I have seen marriages, not only nikah, the marriage was consummated, have 2-3 children, got divorced, and the man sends a truck to load everything which he has given to her or paid her. First thing he does, throw her out of the house, go to your father's house. A one-time divorced woman, first divorce. First of all, those who did not participate in the program when we were talking about that 3 divorces are haram in Islam. You cannot give a woman 3 divorces at one time. It is haram in Islam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was told about somebody who divorced a woman 3 divorces in one sitting. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and he got up and he got so angry, people never saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that angry. His face turned red. And he said, you are making the ayat of this Quran you are taking ayat of this Quran as a joke. And I am still living among you and you are taking ayat of Quran as a joke. Sayyidina Umar used to flog people in the city center if they used to divorce their wives 3 divorces in one sitting. You know, we can get a fatwa from somebody for $250 and the guy will write any damn thing you want. This is what we have come down to. And then we turn around and curse Jews and Christians that they are destroying Islam. They don't know Islam. That's why they say things against Islam. We make a claim that we know Islam, but we don't practice it. We are the greater threat to Islam than those who are not in Islam. And it needs to be said. If he takes or forgo everything he has gifted, he is told to give a separation gift also. Above and beyond the bridal gift which he has promised her, whether he has given her or not, he has to give her. Ad-Darqutni reported that Sayyidina Jubair ibn Muslim's wife demanded divorce before consummation of marriage. And he had already given her the full dowry. He gave her the divorce because she was asking for it, and also let her take the full dowry, did not take anything back, and then give her more when she was leaving. The authorities, elders on both sides in our community, may Allah protect us from them. Because the way we manipulate Islam, our religious or our political leaders, the way we manipulate Islam, depending upon who gave us more money, it's something else. I'm not talking about everybody. Not everybody is like that. Majority is like that. If the women don't want to go through the marriage, the authorities can give a fair judgment and declare her divorced from this man if he doesn't want to give her a divorce. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiyallahu anhu, Sayyidina Ali karamallahu wajh radiyallahu anhu, and Shafi and Imam Abu Hanifa, and many others said that the guardians of the family of the woman does not have any control on the meher of that woman. They cannot take that meher and go buy a scooter, or pay the water bills. They can't do that. It happens in our societies. They also say that the guardians are not authorized to give back her property. Because if somebody wants to, divorce this woman who he is engaged with, the father will get angry and say, take all this stuff which he gave, throw it at his face. You have no right to say, throw it at his face. It's hers. She wants to keep it, she can keep it. Read Quran. It is clearly explained. And it says that and forego and give her, and to give her the bridal gift is near to the piety and righteousness. This is the next part of the ayah. And it says between, don't forget the graciousness and kindness between you. Truly Allah is all watcher over what you do. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said that if the bridal gift has been paid and only nikah was performed, the marriage was not consummated, and either party wants to part away, that will be a divorce. And the forgiving of the bridal gift is recommended by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Forgive it. Give it to her. Let her there. Let her take it. And because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ, that do not forget the generosity and kindness and compassion between you, which brought you together until the nikah, and then for some valid reason, for just human error, you decided to part away. Most of the women saw another beautiful woman and they'll say, okay man, this is better. So, we need to understand. We need to understand these things. Allah the Almighty further reminds us that He is always ever watching what we do. His promises are to those who remember His ordinances and follow, and they will be rewarded. And those who ignore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's ordinances and prefer culture and customs and what the grandparents used to do and now continue to do the wrong thing, because that's how my family does it, it has no value in Islam. No value in Islam. And those people, if they don't respect Allah's limit, then they respect no limits. They would never respect your limits. أقول قولي هذا واستغفره إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Inshallah, we'll make dua and end the program. Next week's program will be about Salah. Ayat number 238 and 239. Those two ayats. And then there are 3 or 4 more ayats after next week. Again about Talaq. If Quran, you have to, and we all have to understand that if Quran continuously repeats something, a topic, that topic is very important because it is repeated so many times for people, because the marriage, husband and wife, is the nucleus of human race. Nucleus of human race. And we need to understand that, especially those who have children, because that definitely affects the child. Definitely affect the child. So inshallah we make dua. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب القبر وقنا عذاب الحشر وقنا عذاب جهنم وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك إيمانا كاملا ويقينا صادقا ورزقا واسعا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا وحلالا طيبا وتوبة نسوحا وتوبة قبل الموت وراحة عند الموت والمغفرة عند الحساب والفوز بالجنة والنجاة من النار برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. والفاتحة. Inshallah, same time, same place, next week. We will convene and remember each other in your dua, and God knows who is closer to Allah than the other. It's just humble yourself.